Good evening, everyone. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Going on?
All right, there we go. All right, got Matt coming in. Where have we been?
I know, right?
I mean, you might have been doing a thing. You did a thing.
I did a thing. I did a
Yeah.
thing here. Been busy.
Nice, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you've joined the club.
Yeah, yeah. It feels good. I'm feels like stability.
Fair enough. So Matt joins the married club, and then we don't get to stream for 3 weeks
Yeah.
because that's what married people do. And it wasn't Matt either each week. So only one, just the wedding week, and the other two were me. So truthfully, I think one was the start of school. So we'll chalk that up to nobody's fault. And then it was chaos for me last week. So I didn't do Friday night fights last week. I didn't do hobby stream last week. I did get the Tuesday cast in, but that was the extent of that. So. But here we are. We're back. Matt is painting tonight. I'm going to be assembling some BX droids, not following the instructions or diagram, if you will. So I don't know, Matt. Let's briefly talk about that real quick because you're doing ARC troopers. I'm doing BX droids. How helpful was that diagram for you?
In the instructions here,
Yeah, and I mean,
good. I mean,
I loosely call them instructions. I just use that term because I think it's an overarching term, but a lot of people are just kind of calling them like not an assembly guide. They're really just a components diagram.
yeah. I mean, you know what? I think it's laid out. Like if you've done these enough, it's kind of intuitive, at least with the arcs here.
Yep.
But I actually had to spend, I don't know, maybe like an hour or so trying to figure out how to kind of make each squad look different and how I wanted to
Hmm.
load everything out.
Right.
So, because it was, I think few people are, making comments, and me too, saying like, hey, it doesn't come up with enough, let's say, jetpacks to do your whole squad, right?
Yep.
And so, I was kind of figuring, okay, well, since I got three boxes, how can I make each squad kind of be its own unit and have like all backpacks or no backpacks or all jump packs or whatever. So I
Yeah.
decided to do one unit with all jetpacks and then two
Hmm.
units on foot. So I've
Yeah.
stuff.
I think I've seen like I think what I would might do too is like you do exactly kind of like you said, and if you're going to maybe there's an argument for that fourth box being kind of valuable where you could just do like two and two and two on the ground, and then of course you're not going to use all four squads, but there's a nice mixture that you can get in there because I think a lot of people want to have multiple jump pack units, and it's really kind of tough to just do it with three boxes. So
Yeah.
you got because you don't really get enough to do the full. You get nine, right? You get nine,
Yep.
and you might want to do the extra guy in there, and you want to have two squads of five. It's just this weird number. I don't understand quite why. I think with the Mandos they gave enough jetpacks for everyone, and then with the ARC troopers I feel like they gave you seemingly one too few for sure, if not two. They gave you so many heads. I would have loved to have seen the inclusion of a couple backpacks, but
Yeah, that would
whatever.
have been nice. Whatever. I mean,
Here,
people bought so many boxes. I guess you can kind of, mix
yeah.
and match and stuff. But
I,
yeah,
I
I
think
had to think
there's
about it. Put it that way. It was
yeah.
some planning before I
Gotcha.
actually started to put them together.
Well, I'm going to talk about some planning and some thinking tonight because I've been doing the same thing with the BX droids. Not so much like how do I make them into a squad, but I'm like how do I make them all different and don't look like anything that came in the box, because that's kind of my theme of my droid army is modify as much as possible and make everything look kind of unique. So we'll definitely get into that this evening. So yeah. So what else has been going on hobby wise for you? I know you were busy, so I think you said you had the brush put down for a little bit, right? So now it's back up and
Yeah, it's we're going hardcore here with the arcs. I finished doing some assembly of my vital assets. I haven't really finished or started painting that at all,
right.
which is kind of catch up. And then um, my ATRTs just came in, so that's I'm trying to get my competitive army up to snuff because I think
Right.
tournaments are actually going to start happening in October.
Okay.
around me. So
Some foreshadowing of RTs, clone RTs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Maybe Matt's making it a thing. All right. I too am also trying to paint some stuff, mostly for Friday night fights. I want to get some. Big Jace is working on my Rebels. He's got about 160 models, so he's literally
Oh,
painting. He's painting everything that I own for Rebels, including multiple air speeders, all that stuff. We're just going to have it all. We're trying to build out the studio armies for Friday night fights so we can get new players come pick or have audience sort of tell us what they want us to see. So we want to have everything available.
very
Um, I got my B2s assembled, and then I'm getting my droids assembled, and then I'm going to kind of paint those guys together. They're going to have a similar sort of dark gray motif. And so I'm going to kind of do some of the base colors of those together and then split off. I feel like the droids paint up quick. I'm glad I picked that faction as the one that I'm painting right now. So because I feel they do paint up nicely. I have been continuing to lay a lot of bricks down on a building that I've been working on for like multiple weeks now. I have what I would call maybe 4 walls done. I got to do 8. So, and I did the floor, but so I guess technically 9, and I do have the floor done. So a lot of work on that, but that's been a fun project. But I thought tonight I might assemble BX droids, just because they're new, and we're gonna try to get them on the table too, for Friday night fights. Probably unpainted, but for now until we get them done. So let me just give a quick rip here on the screens, and if my mic fades in and out, that's because I'm further away. So I'll hot mic myself here, but I'm going to be working under close cam here tonight, so I think we got that squared away. Matt's temporarily rotated his camera around, but he will be painting underneath the one where his face is right now. So that'll be Matt, and you'll see him full screen, and then I'll be under here. So we should have lots of angles for you guys tonight. So chat I can see on the screen. If you want to see something, Matt's showing you something, I'll throw it to him. If I'm showing you something, I'll throw it to me. And if it's the two of us, we'll kind of swap back and forth between these two here. I'm going to keep Matt probably in the small box because he's going to be painting much more tight. I'm going to be probably more sprawled out with my meaty hands all over the screen. But like I said, we can give you guys a close-up of anything that you so choose. So, all right, Matt, anything else, or you want to get cracking in here? We got eight minutes on the clock. We'll give you a good solid hour 20 of work here. So, all right, I'm just going to jump over and get to my work area, and then I'll be right back.
How's the angle here? Good? Nice. Yeah, so I'm on my my third ARC Trooper with this color scheme. So I'm gonna pretty much use this like bluish gray for the squad, and then do the 501st regular blue on the details. I haven't really decided how I want to do that, if I want to individualize everyone or whatever. But I actually posted the steps to do the white armor. Instagram page is the MK Miniatures, and I did one squad with Phase 1 helmets, and then another squad with Phase 2 helmets on foot, and then the jetpack unit has Phase 2 helmets. So should be able to kind of keep them apart. I don't know exactly how I'm going to detail them, but I'm trying to get these guys done relatively quickly, and then once they're pretty much 90% complete, then I'll work on the details after I have the rest of the stuff, that's kind of like in the queue here, to get finished. So we'll see. It's going to take a little while because there's almost 20 of them, and the models are very detailed. So it's a good problem to have, put it that way. So I am just painting the arm joints here with probably my favorite gray to use. It's German gray from Vallejo, from their model color line. And it's almost black, but it's a really, really dark gray. So it's nice to get a base coat down, and then what I do is I'll put a wash over it, a dark wash. So it's my go-to for all my my clone troopers. Any extra grays, I would definitely go with it. if you can find it.
All right, there we go. I just had to do a quick audio so it wouldn't get any echo. So I think you guys should be able to hear both myself and Matt now.
Shawn, you're coming in really quiet if you can hear me.
Oh, I can. Let me see here. Why am I so quiet for you? Let me... Does that help you at all?
I can barely hear you, bud.
All right. Well, let's see if we can sort that out here. So I can hear you nice and loud, but...
Yeah, you're kind of like at a 2 out of 10 right now for me on my end.
Okay, 1 second here. Let me see why that is.
I've been seeing a lot of really nice paint jobs on the arcs from people on Facebook, so keep those coming. Definitely inspiring when you're thinking about ideas and things for your units.
All right, so let me just see here, Matt. I think... is that any better for you?
Just slightly.
Let's see if that's any better there. Strange. I'm maxed out here. How about that? Is that working any better?
It's about the same.
That there? So I think I'm super loud for the listeners, though.
All right.
Can you hear me better, Matt, now?
Yeah, I can make out what you're saying now.
What if I do that there, Matt? Is that any better?
That's much better, actually, yeah. So how many people do we have in chat today?
Matt, can you hear me? How about now, Matt?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Is that better on the volume level?
Yes, much better.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure. Hey, Robert, we are just trying to figure out what YouTube's doing with the sound quality here. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I think I know what's actually happening. I'm going to unplug this. You can still hear me? You can hear me now, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's going to do an echo for us, so I'm going to try my very best to mute that down. And I'm going to swap over my microphone. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a little bit of a longer cable. I think I figured it out, so...
No worries.
No worries.
Can
And you should be able to hear me fine now.
Perfect.
All right, and I'm just going to swap over, and I think I got it. I think I got it cased.
Nice.
It just didn't like me to switch my headphones while we were live, so I think I'm good now.
See. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't hear myself echoing, so that's perfect.
Okay, now we are good. Okay, I just learned something new. I can't switch headphones while already live streaming. Fantastic. Okay, guys, well, sorry about that. It took me a minute or two to get that done up, but welcome, Robert. Thanks for coming here, joining us. And I think I think just Robert right now. So, and I'm just gonna mess with my volume.
Welcome, Robert.
Here. There we go. And system audio. Okay, and you should be able to hear me nice and loud and clear, Matt. And I got you nice and loud and clear. So, cool.
Perfect.
All right. I think you did a lot of your preview. Did I cut you off anymore? Or was there more to share or?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just working on using this dark gray, and one of the things that I found with doing the visors here is if you water down your paint a little bit more and kind of let it just flow into the cracks, it makes it a lot easier to paint the the lenses on their helmets, because the angles are really, really narrow. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to get your brush in exactly the right spot. So you kind of like, if you water the paint down a little bit more, it'll just flow into where it needs to go. It's almost like washing it, but you're doing it with the paint. So it's almost like probably how like a contrast paint might work.
Super.
Yeah.
It's nice. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get these centered up here. I'm going to show you the BX droids that I did last night. So I created a little bit of character on each one. So this guy, right. So what he's doing, he's kind of got this nice like lean back going on, and he's one-handing the sniper rifle. And I didn't put the legs on the sniper rifle yet, like the tripod, or the bipod, but yeah. So he's got this cool lean back. And so what I had planned to do was I was going to do a little bit of like a shot, like he's taking a little shot in the shoulder. So that's kind of hence the lean back action. So that's what I got going on there.
That's cool.
This one right here is going to be my actual leader in the crew, and I just put the binocs in him. I also put the binocs on the sniper one, but he's obviously not going to be the leader. But when he joins the strike team, I thought, oh, cool, I can give him the binocs, and then that makes a little bit more sense. So here's my leader. He's just shielded up, just standing there, kind of not in offensive mode at all. Now, I'm not having a lot of guns on these ones, so obviously you only get one shield that doesn't have the gun port. And so what I'm going to be doing is, because mine are going to be snow based, I'm just actually going to fill that with some snow. So I'll have snow built up on the shields, and I can just actually put some snow right in there. It'll look the piece. It'll just looks like some snow has actually got on the shield. And then the hole will disappear as a result. So another thing I'm going to do too is, because if you guys notice, I actually have mine done up with the shields already glued into place and onto the model. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to paint in chipping fluid before I even do any priming. And so I'm going to paint the chipping fluid right into all the yellow pieces. I'm going to prime it. I'm going to start on the base colors, and then I'm actually going to go back, and then I could just actually remove all the stuff that's where the chipping fluid is. However, when I remove that, because I'm going to be using like the Tamiya white gray primer, it's still going to give me a nice frosted look anywhere that I don't want to take the paint right back to the yellow. So it's going to give me like a frosted shield, which is going to fit.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be my trick.
Be yellow, or are you?
It will be, yeah.
Okay.
No, so it'll be yellow because I'm going to paint the chipping fluid on first, and so it will retain that color. I'm not going to tint the yellow at all, but it will be kind of that nice like yellow look through the white gray, and then obviously the dark grays that I'm going to use. So I'm hoping it comes out like a cool effect. So I did a running sword man, so like the Running Man, but like don't run with scissors kind of thing. Let me just make sure let me get that. So I'm opposite. I mirrored my camera, so there we go. I have to figure out my point of Yeah, so he's the running man, don't run with scissors, PSA kind of thing. So really like this guy. He's very much offensive, so sprinting towards the enemy. I did this guy here. I call him the Karate Kid. So from the side, it looks like he's just maybe high stepping, but really what he's doing is he's lifting the foot, and then if I turn him the angle I actually built him, he's like doing a side kick. So he's gonna like lift that knee up and across the body, and then deliver the nice karate kick. So he's got the hand out front for balance, and then he's got the sword at the hip. So I like this one a lot. The saboteur I have here, so he is one with the gun, and he's got the bomb up and above the head. And if you notice, his back foot's not actually attached. And so what I really wanted that is like really truthfully that throw motion, when you go to throw and you kind of lift up your back leg to, give yourself a little bit more momentum.
Yeah, like a pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I got going on there.
Cool.
And then the next two are by far the most elaborate. I really like these. I want to set the stage here. So this guy is not touching the base at all. So what I've done here, again, keep in mind that I'm doing a winter theme, is he's planting the shield. So the shield will be somewhat buried in the snow. And then he's really using that to launch forward. So it's actually quite stable, but you can really it's different, right? It's like he's full up leap mode coming straight at you, and really ready to get in the fight. And then the last shield guy in here, he's actually doing a combat roll. And so if you look here, I have the sword planted. I have the shield, just the back tip, and then he's actually ready to do a somersault. So the idea is that he's diving into the shield, and if you look at coming straight at you, he's actually fully protected by the shield, but he's flying in this sort of protected fashion. So that's where I got with the droids so far. So
very creative.
You won't find any of those on the box.
No, for sure.
So what I'm gonna do tonight I'm gonna do, because I have 3 shields there, Sab, Sniper, and then 2 regulars, and all of them, with the exception of the Saboteur, have swords. So this is really my kind of like sword/shield unit. Now, obviously, you can't have both, but the thing is there's no confusion by having them there. I only have one card. The reason I want to do swords and shields is because I really like it, and I think it kind of gives a medieval feel. But it's really like, if you look at that, you'll know that I have one or the other. But my card should be the distinction, because it's not WYSIWYG really for Legion. And I know some people are like, it's got to be swords or shields. Well, really, I wanted to both. So as I posted last night on the Captain Now GIF, I really like that. I'm making my own rules up here. It's not it's not outside the rules. There would be no confusion if you played me. My cards would be there. So Robert says, I had an ad for Green Stuff World in my email today. Check their sales. They have some nice looking fluorescent and glow. Oh, so I have talked about this before. Actually, a matter of fact, I talked about it this week because I was suggesting to Joe, and sorry if you guys can hear my small baby out there. She's taken into making this new most obnoxious sound in the world, as I call it. But yeah, no, I was talking to Joe Robert this week, and he's doing kind of like this, like the Dathomir type thing world, and there's some plants on there, and I guess if they get squished, or bugs maybe it is, and when they get squished, they kind of have this like weird like iridescent glow that comes out of them. And I was saying that it would be really cool to use the Green Stuff World paints, because they're really fantastic, and I agree, the glow paint is cool. Also, if you're doing a Felucia table, shout out to anyone doing a Felucia table, it's also potentially really cool. And I've seen somebody do a little blacklight work with that, and so that comes out to be really quite cool as well. So I'm just going to grab this Matt. I'm going to put you under close cam here so you guys can see what Matt's got going on while I just kind of cut some stuff off sprue here. So
Cool. Yeah. So I got these three guys going. This guy here was my test model. I actually mixed a like a light blue, which is electric blue with somber gray, to make the this like bluish gray color, which I really like how it came out. So, yeah, I just have 20 more to go here.
only 20?
Only like 20, yeah. So what I try to do is I take off the heads, I dry fit them, and then kind of put them on some poster putty, and it makes it a lot easier to get around everywhere and getting all the cracks and crevices and stuff. So the other thing that I like doing is one, using a wet palette, and then two, pretty much putting out all your paints that you're going to use ahead of time, and then it allows you to just kind of go back and forth real fast, and also mix paints a lot faster too. So it's I think it's an essential tool for painting. I know. Have you finally gotten one, or are you still holding out on us?
So what you're suggesting is you want to know if I'm painting. That would be a hard no. But it's not out of the question. And I was going to tell you, Jace, who is actually painting a bunch of stuff for me right now, is giving huge shout outs to the ease at which it is to paint using a wet palette. So your endorsement has not been lost on Terrain Studio people. It's just been lost on me. Only in the sense that I'm just not painting right now. But I need to get one. Matter of fact, I'll probably buy a couple, because knowing me, I'll probably have a few on the go in different projects, because I don't know if that wet palette is large enough for me, Matt, because usually I'm working on about 7 things at a time, and I just feel like I almost need to have like one per dedicated project. So,
Sure.
But I like that. Let me just jump over. I'm going to show you not the BXs. I just want to catch you guys up, because I know that you guys may or may not have seen this before, but let me show you kind of where I got with that house project as of late. So it's Patreon content, so I'm not going to show you I'm not going to spend a long time on it, but I did want to kind of show you. So that's actually the back panel. If you guys see that, I've got a combination of wood and brick going on here, and I know it's just kind of looks like a pretty muted pink palette, but these sort of panels that are laid in, they're going to have some iconography sort of carved in. So right now they're just smooth and plain. I don't think you guys saw this either. I did a staircase up that I built, and so it's cool. It's just unattached right now. Everything's off because I'm actually going to be painting these panels before assembly. So there's another one that's a half wall, because it has another sort of piece that shoots out from this. But I was pretty happy with how these walls came out. They look nice and clean. And this week, what I was doing was, I'm not sure if you've seen this, Matt, but I did the floor for this. So that's actually, again, just pink foam. And so I set my jig up and I cut my pieces. I used the stone technique to sort of flatten down and create the texture in the floor. And I was just able to very quick and easy cut myself. What you do is you use one size, and then what you do is you then just cut it in half and then half again, and you end up getting a very uniform pattern. So this is all cut from one standard size, and then, like I said, I just use half cuts to get it down, and then no matter how you lay it out, you'll end up with a very symmetrical pattern. As you can see there, there's nothing, the lines just end up lining up nicely. So
yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's that. So I just prefer.
Very tedious.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at this. This is the definition of tedious right there. So
I mean, it's gorgeous looking from a miniature model standpoint.
It's just taking a while, and then I'm currently just working on the front end here. So again, you can just kind of see how it starts. It's very bland, and then I just build out from there. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. So you can follow that project on Patreon if you are so inclined. That's where it is. So and then yeah, I'm just gonna get going. I'm gonna get a couple pieces here going. Thanks, Robert, for the comment, and we will throw Matt back under here because he's still painting. So I think we finally got our angles figured out as well. So we've been working on this. I did purchase a couple new pieces of equipment, and in terms of like audio style, so I'm able to work. And then I've set up multiple mics now, so it's a little bit easier. I don't have to move. So the less moving, the better. So we do appreciate that. We are Matt and I did set a short summer goal. We were not very successful, but we're hoping that we can hit a little stride here, get the Patreon boosted up. And I did actually just a video for patrons this month already, so it's bonus content on there. I did a nice video on substrates. I realized that a lot of people don't necessarily know what kind of materials make good building materials. So I talked a little bit about building materials and substrates, both. Plastic card, foam, cardboard, using existing objects, plastic, and just kind of talked about what's good, what's bad, what works nice in combination, and then yeah, I just did a little comprehensive video on that, about 25 minutes. So if you guys are interested, it's on there, and then I'll do a little how-to at the end of the month on some things. And I think what I'm going to do this month is I'm actually going to be doing that Proxon tools and showing people how to use the foam cutter and how I go about preparing things like you just saw there. So although it's not 3D printed, it's all handmade, but there's a lot of systematic things you can do to just really generally speed up your terrain making. And speeding up is a relative term. When you hear speed up, don't think that it's like happens in an hour. It's just an expedited process. Like Matt will tell you, he's painting, and then he'll say, "I have 20 more to go." So you'll see how long it takes him to do one, and then you can extrapolate that to the other 20.
Yeah, I've been trying to speed up my painting process a little bit, but I don't know, these models are like super detailed, so I don't know.
And so here's the thing. This is a good conversation. Maybe we can have this as we're working here, Matt.
Yeah.
Speed is not really something that I attempt to do in terrain making. Although I may say that at times, really what I'm not trying to like speed it up like for the sense of like, I gotta get this done. This needs to be faster. If I'm not more efficient at this, I can't do it. What I think probably what you truthfully mean too is, and maybe you mean time, but there's efficiencies to be found. So for example, like when I was doing the bricks for this project, I don't want to, like probably 10,000 bricks. I don't need probably 10,000 for this project, but in the interest of cutting enough for a wall, building the wall, going back and cutting, building a wall, going back and I basically was able to do all of one step at one time. And so for me, not having to reset my jigs, not having to remeasure, not having to cut more material and then cut it into bricks, like that's really what I look for, like in building. So let's say, for example, I'm going to paint multiple units. I talked about the B2s and the Commandos. I'm going to do the priming and the base colors at the same time. Then I'm going to micro shift over to one, and then I'll go over to the other. So for me, instead of doing the Commando Droids in a color, and then in a couple weeks time going to have to do the B2s in the exact same base color, I'm going to paint them all at the same time, expediting that process, not really making it faster because it's going to take just as long, but finding some efficiencies in the work that I'm doing.
Yeah, I think ultimately you're saving time, or you're saving material or something. By creating those efficiencies, I think you're improving the process in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it may not seem like you're saving a lot of time, but if you actually kept track of everything, like minute by minute, I bet you are.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
A few things, like for me, I try to watch, other painters and stuff on YouTube and everything. And I think what I was doing is I was using too small of a brush.
Okay.
And what happens is I'm able to now keep more paint loaded and still keep the same amount of control and detail for most of the parts. And then it saves me from having to reload the brush constantly. So, from that standpoint, I don't know if it necessarily saves that much time, because loading the brush probably takes, 2 seconds or something, 3 seconds. But it also, it fatigues you less, right? So like your endurance kind of goes up because you're doing almost like less of a detailed motion constantly, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm really articulating it right, but that's kind of how I feel with it.
Well, I mean, any time saving is a time saving, right? Like
Yeah.
let's just like I'll use a real simple analogy, something that I often have to do at work, using a paper cutter, right? If I got to cut 20 pages and I can cut them one at a time, I got to do the cut motion 20 times with the cutting motion's the easy part, but doing it repetitiously for 20 cuts still takes time. If I cut it 5 at a time, now I'm doing it in 4 motions. However, if you try to get too fast and you try to get too streamlined, and you go to, I'm not sure if you ever used a paper cutter before, but this happened. If you cut 20 pages at once and you don't have them all perfect, you end up getting that little bit of slide in the paper. And then you don't end up cutting them as clean as you wanted to. And really what you just did was you just made something that you were trying to go too fast, too efficient into more work. And so that when I say speed, that's why I try to really preface that with, I'm not trying to do everything as fast as possible. I'm trying to do it as efficient as possible. And that's something that I really want to be clear about. Like, because you can really race through things and it's to your detriment, really. You might save a little time, but if you make more work for yourself, or you've, not ended up with the product that you wanted, like as nice a product as you wanted, then you really.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, the other thing too is just like when you get a new set, right? Like, so those BX droids,
Yeah.
You open the box and you're like, okay. These don't look like B1s. I've done 52 of them, or 54, or 80, or whatever. So, the first B1, maybe it took you 20 or 25 minutes to assemble, and then the 20th one's only taking you 10 minutes type of thing.
Yeah, but you didn't actually do a worse job in assembling the 20th one. What you figured out is like, oh, it's easier to glue this first versus that, or this versus that. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Give me 5 seconds, Matt. I'm just going to grab a pin vise real quick.
Sure. Yeah, so I would say a real tedious part to these ARC troopers are all the little straps and stuff that's hanging around, because I spent some time airbrushing the white and the gray and everything, and I really don't want to mess that up. So I'm really taking my time here painting the black straps that go over the cloaks, or whatever you want to call these things. Skirts, maybe. Shawn, do you know what these are called on the ARC troopers? They're little skirts or kilts or whatever.
No, I don't know what they're called. Skirts? Sure, I like it. Skirts.
Yeah, right.
Robert is saying in chat here, what changed painting for me was just using a wet palette. Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
amen.
There you go.
Amen to that.
There you go. Matt's getting all the ringing endorsements. This we should get some wet palette sponsors for the terrain studio here.
Yeah, right.
I'm just over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I painted without a wet palette, honestly. Like, and I painted for a while without one.
Well, You just found some efficiencies.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I like about it is just how easy it is to mix the paints and to create, like shading or a highlight real fast, and then just be able to go back and forth between the different colors and stuff. It's like, oh, hey, I messed up over here. Let me touch that up real quick.
Okay.
And you have the paint ready versus like, oh, let me go find where I put that paint away, 2 hours ago or whatever.
I mean, that sounds to me a lot like an efficiency.
You
That's the definition of like you've just saved yourself a lot of time by having a more efficient method, not having to mix, not having to go get paint, none of that takes by itself a lot of time, but all of it takes time.
Yep.
No, I like that.
Yeah, and so once I'm done with the gray on this guy, I'm going to do the bluish gray, and I'm actually gonna do some wet blending on the legs and the armor. So I'll kind of live walk people through what the technique is. I'm kind of new to it, but it's kind of simple. I don't know if I do it very well yet, but it's something that I'm practicing, and I'm always trying to learn, new techniques and things like that. And I think once you do it a few times, it becomes relatively like easy. If you have the right tools and stuff, and you have the right, you have the right paint, the right brush, the right wet palette, right? I think you need a wet palette for sure to do this.
Robert's saying he created his using a model carton for Arena Rex, paper towel, and parchment paper for a homemade version of wet palette. I like it.
Yeah, that totally works.
Yeah, easy homebrew solutions are awesome. And there's literally nothing wrong with it. So when I say like homebrew, please do not equate that with any sort of sense that is cheap or not cool, or like I say cheap and homebrew because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the first wet palette that I bought was I forget the brand of it or whatever, but it wasn't super expensive. It was maybe like $12 or $14, and it was huge. It's maybe like, I would say 4 times the size of this one that I'm using right now, and it's got a huge piece of foam on it. So if you go on Amazon or whatever, and if you kind of want to upgrade from the do it yourself type of thing, and use actual, like, I think it's acrylic paper. It's very similar to parchment paper, but it's specifically designed for, I think, acrylic paints. So it'll give you a little bit more control over I guess the moisture and stuff, whatever the technical term is. Viscosity.
All right, I think you guys are gonna like what I'm working on here, but just give me a second so I can get partway done the piece. I'm like literally breaking every rule that just was invented in Legion here to make this model, so it's not gonna please everyone, but it only needs to please one person.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Legion is that it's not WYSIWYG. Like, you can pretty much model it however you want with all the new kits and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of not being WYSIWYG.
All right, well, let's. I'm gonna swap over here, Matt, and let me see what you think of this.
Do it up.
What do you think of this here? All right, let me go grab where my scenes window at here. I got chat windows open and all kinds of stuff. All right. Sorry, I have temporarily, I don't know where my scenes window went. Oh, here it is. We're going to go. Okay. All right. check this out. Let me just zoom in here a little bit. All right. So it's a BX droid. But you're gonna notice that.
He's on a flight stand.
Oh yeah, because he's coming in from the so I don't have the arms on, so you're gonna have to imagine. So I've bent one leg and hacked another leg completely off, and then reattached it. So what he's gonna be doing, that's kind of the forward angle. So he's gonna be coming in at this like sort of like jump angle. Sword arm's gonna be on the top side here, kind of like coming in with the death from above. And then I'm gonna do the shield on this arm. So like putting the shield down first. So coming in with the shield smash, arm over the top is what we're doing.
That guy thinks he's a superhero.
I mean, I think he is kind of super, and he might be somebody's hero. So
close enough.
Yeah. So like if you could just imagine, like this is kind of what I'm going for, right? Like here's a guy flying in really here. Cool. Guy coming up over the top. So if these guys were engaged in battle, like one guy's shield smashing and then this guy's leaping and coming up over the top. So, I mean, in the silhouette world, given how popular they are, I think it's fine because you just pop the silhouette behind it and it doesn't matter what I've mounted him on. So, we'll see. There's only a few folks in chat, but Robert's saying that's one way to use the tall flight stand. You better believe it because I probably won't be using them for much else. All right, so just let me know, Matt, when I need to switch back there. I'll just work under here for a second so people can see.
Yeah, sure, go for it. I'm kind of doing a boring part here, just blocking out the off, almost black, dark gray here.
Yeah, no worries. That's perfectly fine. It's a good time to show kind of here. So yeah, I basically just hacked off the leg on the inside, and I'm using Bob Smith Industries gap filling glue. And the reason I like this stuff is it's really good at again gap filling, but it does put down a pretty significant gel. And the gel itself, when you prime it up and you can sort of carve into it, so if it kind of looks a little bit bulbous later, you can sort of just carve it away with a knife a little bit to put those ridges back in. And Droids lend super well because I can cut a hard edge or a groove or a line into it, and it's not going to look out of place. It's going to just fit with the droids. It's a little bit tougher to do that on like skin-based models, but really on skin-based models, the bulbous deposits of glue actually look a little bit more fitting as well. So the gap filling glue is fantastic for when you're starting to hack models apart. I love it. All right.
So is that what's your go-to filler for model gaps? Because I'm still trying to pin down.
So really that's it. I love the Bob Smith Industries. The medium stuff is fantastic. So this is my gap filler. If you're talking like a large gap, I will fill it typically with some green stuff. But I try to I would really try to make my gap smaller than the need for green stuff. If you're straight up like covering a hole or something like that, then certainly green stuff is fine. But I love the gap filling glue. And I'm a straight up super glue. All the models. I have some plastic glue right here. Honestly, I have it here to show. I'm not a fan at all. I use super glue. Yeah, plastic glue. I use super glue and accelerant, and that's what I use.
Yeah.
I just don't like the plastic glue. That's just me. I just don't.
Yeah, I've been using super glue too. I mean, part of it is just because I've had it, and then I don't know. I think it's just faster.
Oh, it totally is faster.
Yeah.
So that's the action that I'm gonna go there for the knife. So if you guys can see that, what do you think, Matt?
Oh shit! I gotta charge my phone. Hold up.
Okay.
I forgot to plug that guy in. My phone, it's about to turn off. All right.
Okay.
There we go. 1 second. Let me take a look.
No worries.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the downward action of the, and like that would be kind of like from behind.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's the angle. So again, that's dry fit, folks. Definitely use a lot of dry fitting, especially when I'm scratch building, or not scratch building, but like kit bashing kind of thing, or changing poses.
Yeah, you're pretty much converting it nicely.
I 100 convert every model in this army is basically converted. And sometimes it's just like bending poses. Sometimes it's straight up like cutting. I'm stealing from kits. I always buy extra kits so I can kit bash and steal pieces. And then another thing too is like I'm using the arm joint. And if you guys, let me just get real close here. So the arm joint that I'm using, I've actually tipped it out. So rather than be that full ball and socket, I've actually got it angled out. So the joint's a little bit weaker just because of the contact. But what I've done is I've pre-filled in with the gap filling glue. So it goes in and fills the cavity and then makes it an actual stronger bond. I have more glue holding the plastic than I have plastic just pressure fitted in. And so really the bond's as strong. Pop a little accelerant on there, and just leave that a few seconds. And then basically by the time I've cut my next piece or started to manipulate my next piece, it's easy to start moving around. So yeah, so that's our attack motion there. So now what I'm going to do is work on making a shield. There is potential that I could go double swords on this guy, but I think the shield smash works better for this dude.
Yeah, double sword would be pretty fun too. If you had like one sword like up in the air.
I think.
Kind of
Oh,
like,
I
like
mean,
he's chopping down at someone.
we have 7 more models to manipulate here, so like we're
You're
I
like
guess 6.
for my next trick, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's every guy is like I like make little names. Like I think you guys have seen this. I'm gonna grab this just in case there's somebody new that hasn't seen. But like I have a series of droids that I call my comedy droids. So all right, see you, Robert. So I have this droid right here, and this droid is I'm not sure if you see. I think you've seen this one, Matt. He's bending over and he's looking at the head that's in the snow here.
Oh yeah.
And then I
Nice.
have this one who is the headless his headless mate. He's carrying his backpack, and then he has his foot up in this weird sort of like Monty Python march style as he's going through the snow. But really, what he's doing he's kicking his friend who's having a look at his head. And so he ends up it's perfectly positioned when they're base to base that he's actually kicking this guy over, not having seen him there. So yeah, so I just like these fun little narratives. The pieces work for the game; they 100% function as game pieces, but they got these cool little narrative bits going on.
So how do you think up all this stuff? Because this is like very creative.
Well, I mean, not tooting my own horn, but I think naturally I'm got a little bit of a creative
Creative
streak in,
guy. Yeah,
a
yeah, of
little bit of
course.
creative streak in me. No, I really make the characters like honestly, Star Wars lends really well. So like I'm making the BX droids in these like as I would describe acrobatic actions because I feel like that's how they are in the show.
Yeah.
I describe mine as I wanted to make the Cirque du Soleil droid unit because I just really when I think about them, that's what I think about. When I think about the droids, I think about like characters like the Three Stooges. I think about characters um, like goofy cartoon characters, and so they're always doing like ridiculous things. And so when I'm thinking about building the droids, I equate them to how I would think if they were a real thing to interact with. If these droids were real things, they'd be Cirque du Soleil actors. If the
Huh.
droids were real things, they'd be comedians, or just people doing kind of ridiculous things. So that's kind of what I think about. Like the tank, I wanted to have a guy falling in because I just thought like they're too stupid to like operate a tank with efficiency. So the first thing they would do would be fall in the hatch. I have my other two versions, and some of them I want to have plowing droids over, because that's what I envision would happen. Like one guy would be not paying attention inside and be mowing over his own droids and things like that. So it's just the funny little narratives in my brain that I think make for interesting narrative pieces when you're looking at them on the table.
Yeah, do you have a ticket to LVO?
I do have a ticket to LVO, although I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to get out of my country, but
yeah, I'd love to see your droid army there if it's still on, if it still happens,
yeah, no, absolutely. I'll likely be wanting to bring droids. At the very least, I'll want to bring the army up to, just to kind of show people what it is I've been working on. Now, that being said, for my B2s, I envision the B2s being like kind of like the more elite. So like I want to have mine like super, almost like clean looking and like very like, methodical in sense that like I don't want them doing funny things. I don't want them to have like dynamic poses. I do have them in different poses. I modded all of them, but I want them to be kind of like, well, yeah, they're a little tougher to mod, so some of them might be pretty close to box, but I don't want them to be doing anything other than this like upright killing machine, because that's what I kind of envision them at. Like,
yeah,
droids have
you
had
could
their
have
fun.
them like punching a B1 to the side,
Yeah,
or something,
exactly. Throwing on the side. Yeah.
do any spare B1s?
Oh, I have many.
Yeah,
I think I got my 3 core sets, but then I think I have another 2 or 3 boxes, I think, of droids. So again, really good for parts. So we got you back under close cam there too, Matt.
oh sweet, yeah, I'm about to switch, like,
okay.
It's a little too watery. Sometimes it's tough to get the right consistency for the paint, because if it's too runny, then it just goes everywhere. But then if it's like not moist enough, it doesn't flow. So like you're constantly having to reload. But
have you done any work with the BX droids yet, Matt?
no, I didn't order them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of slowed down on my droid army because I just have too much stuff right now, and I haven't been like doing anything with them. So I have like,
fair.
I have the core set, and I have I got Dooku, and I have the whatever the upgrade, the sniper rifle and the rad cannon.
Oh yeah, special.
I have those. Yeah, I haven't built them or done anything with those yet. So I pre-ordered the specialists.
Yep.
Because I feel like that's pretty essential.
Yeah, the tactical droid is going to be.
Yeah.
Tactical droid, med droid, all of those are going to be fantastic.
So I got one of those because I feel like if you want to play with what's his name, with Darth Maul, I feel like you're probably going to need you're going to need that box. So it's kind of like a joint buy.
Don't disagree.
So, yeah.
I think I'm like pre-ordered up into like 2021 for sure, but I ordered myself, I did 4 specialist packs for droids. I did 2 Darth Mauls because I'm 100% doing a Darth Maul that's cut in half. And
that's great.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's gonna be magnetized at the waist, and when he dies, he's officially dead. So, yeah, I did order quite a bit of stuff. I only ordered 2 RTs. I'm just not sure how much clone RTs. I mean, I'm not playing any clones right now, but I just kind of, I don't know if I'm going to go the triple. Even with Rebels, I usually ran 2 versus 3, but so
I ordered 2. I also ordered 2 of the specialists for clones.
Yep.
With the medics and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think those sets will be nice. I just feel like, I don't know, clones have so many good things already that it's almost like, do you even need this stuff? But I really do want to run some flamethrower ATRTs for clones. I think they're kind of scary.
No, that makes sense for sure. I'm gonna swap over here. I'm just gonna show people. I'm just assembling this shield, and then when you get to that gray piece, we'll swap over.
Perfect.
I was just saying, the reason I was asking if you had any of these BXs is I'm not really a huge fan of the shield hand poses, like how they are holding the shield.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have liked it to have been a little bit more dynamic. Like if you look at the back of the box, and grab that real quick. If you look at the back of the box here, they're kind of just like all holding them out in front. Like every one of the shield poses looks the same. And to me, I'm like, that's the last thing I actually... Not only do I not want my droids to look like the box, and I don't want them to look the same, I definitely don't want all my shields within a unit, different poses for the guys, and then the same shield holding. I'm going to swap you to the big cam, and then I'll stay working under the small cam, and then that way people can at least see that I'm doing something over here.
All right, so what I did here was I mixed. So this is my like blue-gray pile right here. I've got the dark gray that I've been using, and then I just mixed the two together to make like a shade color. So where my highlight on the boot is under, kind of like under shadow, I'm gonna like glob this on there in that spot, and then what I'm gonna do is immediately grab the straight bluish gray and paint right into it. I don't know if you can see this here. And pretty much like blend it in while they're both still very wet. So you can kind of like switch back and forth until the paint mixes together to kind of create this shading effect on the back of the boot. And then I'm kind of just like, you almost kind of like just like gliding on it in a way because it's very wet. Like you don't have to really thin it down too much as you go back and forth. I mean, you don't want it like super thick, but you know the consistency of it is it's got really good coverage. Put it that way. So I'm trying to keep the kind of like the shading effect of the airbrush. So it kind of gives you a guide as to where you should have like more of a darker blue and a lighter blue. That's pretty much it. I kind of just mess around with it and just kind of be brave and just throw paint on there and see how it comes out. That's kind of what I find fun about trying new techniques and stuff. It's like you can't really mess it up too much because you could always just paint right over it. So don't be afraid to just go at it. Yeah, especially if your paint is the right consistency. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, check. I'm not sure if you can see Matt, but check this out. I got guy 1 done.
Oh, that is pretty cool. Can you
So
pose the sword like more like up in the air type of thing?
like what I was thinking about doing is I think what I might try to do is bend the sword out a bit more. Like to clear it out from the shield a bit more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that. I gotta all right, I'm pop the shield off. I'm gonna pop the arm off too. It's a nice thing I can if you work quickly, although like your stuff will hold, but I go back and fill my joints in with the glue to strengthen each one. Like I build up the piece. So I
Hmm.
only yeah, so that's what I always do. So I just pop those off super easy. They're held in place, they won't move. But if I put pressure on them because I haven't strengthened the joint, I can snap it in one direction, and then I can always repose. It's one of the nice things about kind of my approach to it is that I don't solidify anything until I'm 100% done. So if I did it like that, do you think
Let me see.
like
Yeah, rotate it back a little bit so I can see the front view.
oh okay.
Yeah, I like that better.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit more out to the side and a little bit more like stabby coming down. So okay,
Yep.
I'll glue it in place, get my fingers out of the way, see what you think about it. And then I can yeah, so all I did was just twist the wrist a little bit. And I think it might work. I'll strengthen that in and then give it a hold. I'll pop back over to Matt, see what Matt's working on while I'm holding this, drying the less interesting parts.
Yeah, I'm just working on the blues here still. I also like finding new colors. I mean, because I don't have the model color line. I have game colors, so it's almost like if you experiment with mixing, you can kind of find game colors.
And then you don't with your air, do you use the air range or do you thin the model or the
So I do
game, I mean?
both. Typically, if I'm going to do a large batch, I'll thin the regular paint because I feel like you just get a lot more. You get more paint out of it. And but if I'm going to do like more of a quicker type of job, or like maybe like one or two models, I'll use the game air. It's really just for convenience instead of having to put thinner in and flow like tons of flow improver and stuff.
Yep.
But you definitely don't have to buy like the specifically formulated airbrush paint.
No,
It's just
I like it because of the consistency. That's kind of my go-to. But
yeah.
yeah, you definitely do not have to get it. So
Yeah,
all right,
it's for me it's pure convenience and like you said consistency, because you're not gonna always get the same exact mix with the other style of it. So yeah.
all right, Matt. That's the new pose. So from the front, straight on.
Oh, totally better. Yeah. It's not hidden by the shield anymore.
Yeah, that's the side. That's the back.
I like it.
Yeah. And so like, yep, on the tabletop, it's gonna look like that coming at you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it lends well. So, all right, well, there's one. So Matt almost painted an entire ARC Trooper, and I assembled one thing.
Yeah.
So, like talking about efficiencies, posing all your models differently, not efficient.
Not efficient at all. Yeah.
No, but cool. So if cool ranks higher than efficient, or if you're okay to take some time, then I think that feels good.
Yeah, it's really like, how much detail and individuality do you want on your models? Yeah, do you want to just get them done quick, or do you want them more individualized?
Okay. So the next guy I'm working on trying to make a guy doing a backflip.
That's pretty funny. I like it.
I'm not sure how, but I'm gonna try it. So there is the sniper torso is probably the best one because it's the one that doesn't have the legs attached at all, and it has no arm, like no like sort of definition for where your arm's gonna go either. So it's this one here, and so it's just got leg, uh, basically pivot points. You can either shave those off or you can round out the inside of the legs and basically
Oh, I see.
model your leg in any direction that you want. So they are shaped, so they are designed to accept a leg in a certain position. However, if you just go in and drill out the inside of the leg hole, you can make it circular, and then this fits anywhere you want. So I think part of I'm just gonna pop you back on screen here. I think part of like when you take this approach is to really look at the sprues. Like I spent quite a while just like looking at the sprues,
Yeah.
understanding what the arms options are, understanding the posability of a particular piece, understanding the pieces that aren't going to lend well to, manipulation or I stress a lot of the plastic, so it's really important that when you're doing that, you have some understanding of, how much can I do this to this piece, how it's important. I found the soft plastics worked better for heat manipulation. Sorry, Matt, I meant to hit you on the screen there. I felt the soft plastics were better for heat manipulation.
Hmm.
These not as much because they melt too quickly. So I just found I did find that the soft ones melted as well. Just saying that the heat applied to the soft ones allowed manipulation to happen very quickly. Heat applied to these ones takes a little bit longer. You just have to be very careful because I feel like they're a bit more brittle when heat
Yeah.
is applied. So you just got to be careful about that. So
Yeah, I tried to bend the feet on some of my the jetpack unit, and I snapped one of them by accident. I had to reglue it. And I kind of just
right.
shaved it down. So yeah, they're not the easiest to manipulate that way, at least for me.
No, that's 100% accurate. I
Yeah,
think so.
I'm much better at painting rather than like assembly slash like you know customizing the way you're doing that. That would take me too many hours and probably breaking too many models for me to really want to continue with it. But
No, that's fair.
yeah, that stuff's pretty awesome, man. I
To each
like it.
his own, I think they say.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
was
like
trying
about
to
the hobby too. You can pretty much like enjoy it the way you want to.
yeah, for sure. The question is, do I want to have him back flipping and so that his back is kind of the forward of it, or do I want him to like be back flipping and like coming towards you, like like doing like like back flipping in the I'm coming at you, or back flipping as in he's flipping away from someone? That's the question.
Hmm.
I think I might want to do a backflip as in he's flipping away from. So really, the front of it's going to be really the back of him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's what I'm gonna try. I just gotta figure out which leg I want to use.
Right. What's your favorite loadout for the BX droids? Have you played with them yet?
No, I haven't. I actually built a couple lists lately to have it. I think the ACM is going to be my go-to weapon.
Which one's
I
that?
I think that's the range 2 3 red. I think range 1 to 2 3 red.
Oh, this is the phase twos, or not the phase
Oh,
twos,
oh,
B twos.
did you say B2s to me?
I thought
Or
I
did you
said
say
BXs, but maybe I said B twos. I don't know.
I heard B2s. Okay, fair
Okay, no
enough.
worries.
So, and okay, so BXs, which is more on point with what I'm building. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'll have to go back and listen to that and be like, man, did I mishear that?
I don't know.
No.
I'm pretty tired myself, so I'm not even sure what I said.
I think for me it's gonna be swords because I think shields are too expensive, and I
Okay.
think swords are perhaps undercosted for what they give you. Meaning, I feel like I'm getting a good deal.
Well, because what they give you charge, they give you what, a red, one red
Yeah,
per
yeah, yeah.
in melee, I think.
I have the card right here. I can pop it out. Just give us the exact vibro swords. 6 points rather, and you gain BX Commando Droid, Commando only. You gain charge after you perform a move, and the swords give you red and white each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So that's a
yeah,
pretty scary melee unit.
for 6 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like
that's
I don't know. Yeah, I think once you're in, you're good. It's just getting there is a challenging part.
I don't like. I mean, they're red dice saves. I mean, with
Yeah.
portable scanners coming into the mix, where you can just give like cheap B1 units to go load them up with a bunch of dodges before they go, and then in they charge. So
Yeah.
I mean, getting extra dodges on red dice saves units feels pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just excited to start playing people in person again at some point within
Yeah,
the next
I mean,
few months or two. I mean, a few weeks maybe. One of my local store actually installed some type of like advanced like filtration system in
yeah,
their HVAC unit,
nice to
which
do
is
that
pretty
exact thing, eh? Yeah,
pretty dope.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Just catering to the game. Well, I mean, man, you gotta invest money to bring back your clientele. Your clientele's got to feel like they're coming back safe, and without your
Yep.
clientele, you ain't making any money. So you got to invest in people's safety, no question about it. And so that's
Yep.
cool. I mean, good on them, right? Support your local gaming store. It's going to support you, like literally support you by,
Yeah.
potentially saving your. I'm not saying I know I don't want to like overemphasize. It sound like I'm like, you know, trying to like glorify everything, but honestly, same thing I tell kids at school, right? I thank kids for wearing their mask at my school, and the reason I do that is I said you are actually saving me potentially by wearing your mask.
Yeah.
I'm not saving you, like you're saving me, right? I'm wearing my mask, which potentially is, but like they're doing me a favor and I'm doing them a favor is kind of how I describe it. And so it's like not wear a mask because you have to. It's like thank you for doing it.
Yep.
That's kind of been my approach to it. So
I like the perspective. I mean, it's a good example for sure. I mean, I don't know how I feel about like wearing a mask for 4+ hours straight
well, that's what we
playing,
do.
you know.
Yeah,
But you do what you got to do.
yep. Yep. If that's a sacrifice you got to make to do the thing that you like to do, then
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's what you're doing.
So I'm on to the sniper model,
Okay.
which I actually posed one of them. So what I did was I pretty much I'm not making was it Echo? I'm making Echo actually into one of my jetpack units.
Okay.
So like this dude here is gonna be my Echo. And then I'm gonna use the crouching dudes for the strike teams and just like the regular units.
Okay. Just jump back here. I'll explain kind of what I'm doing right now. So this is what the flip's looking like right now. So let me just put it here. So it's so
That's
here's the
hilarious.
this is the run, right? So this is effectively what I'm trying to do is I'm going to go back to my running man pose, which is a little bit different than this. I've changed up the leg positions, because I want to have one real bend. That's where you're getting the torque from, and then one leg straight up. So really, what it's going to look like is it's going to look like this. That's the flip now. So now he is back flipping, and that's what the pose is going to look like.
I
So
like it.
nice tight legs, and then flipping over. So, and then the reason I chose the curve body is because I want to sort of have the head tucked, and because if you're doing a backflip, that's precisely what you're going to do, right? You're going to tuck the body, so it's like this motion. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to use two of the non-weapon arms, and so it's actually going to have two arms without weapons in them, just because he's going to be doing the flip, obviously with
He's
the
just there for distraction.
well, his weapon. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take one of the blasters, or actually I might take one of the swords, because it comes with two swords that aren't attached to arms, and I might just tuck the sword up like across the back.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing there. So now, the only thing with the arm on this one is I have to manipulate it, because the arm sockets are kind of pointing down, and this is the sniper body, and so the arms are sort of down because they have the sniper rifle going forward. So I'm just gonna sort of carve out a little bit of the concave here, so I can use the shoulder pockets a little bit differently. So all right, I'll jump you back over to Matt because he's actually working, and I'm gonna be drilling
So what I'm
some.
trying to do here is get a nice kind of like a shading on the legs where where the bluish gray is. So it looks a little bit more natural with the lighting. I'm trying to blend that in. I try not to spend too much time on like parts you're not really gonna see, but I don't know, for me, like I feel like I need to complete the model. Like if you see it from any angle, it needs to look right.
Yeah, well, Joe was asking me. He's like, are you doing the inside of that building just because you're you and you don't want it to be not done on the inside? And I'm like, nah, I said, no, you're actually gonna see it, but I think I would. He's not wrong to ask me, because yeah, I'm I'm kind of like you in the sense that, like, if I can do it, I want to do it,
Yep.
and and it's part of the process, and so why wouldn't I do it, kind of thing.
Have you assembled or painted any Crisis Protocol models or
I
seen
have
them?
not. I have seen them. I have not assembled, purchased, nor painted any.
Yeah. I haven't painted any yet, but the assembly on them is somewhat challenging on some of the guys. But I am excited to paint at a different scale. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I did a commission. I haven't done any for myself yet, and I really want to kind of like spend a ton of time on one model and see like what level I can kind of get it up to, and try some new techniques and stuff, because they're on a much larger scale than Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watch some of these videos on YouTube, right? And it's like these guys are painting busts and just like bigger models, and it's just crazy the amount of detail and stuff that they can get on them.
I think you're gonna like this guy when I get him done up. Sound like you're laughing at me there, Matt.
Actually, you know what's funny? That's my dad upstairs. I was curious if you're gonna pick that up. I don't know if he's watching
No,
like
no, it's all good, man.
a comedy special up there or a funny story. I hear my wife laughing too. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm missing a party upstairs.
Yeah, fair enough.
Apparently. You know, there might be scotch involved. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but good times in the Kish household. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's all good, man. You might hear some crying coming here pretty soon. It might get that time here, so no worries.
That's so funny. Oh man, I'll have to tell them that either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I see them. But that is too funny.
Whatever it is, he was having a good time.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Okay, this is gonna be very, very dynamic, and the nice thing about this is even though they're super fragile in terms of like how much actual base contact I have, I use a very clever basing technique where the snow on these bases, like let me just jump back over here, I'll show you my droids. The snow is basically almost an adhesive in itself, and you can see kind of like the buildup on the thickness.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will encapsulate the foot. It'll really strengthen all that. And like I said, the snow itself is 50% adhesive. And then I do sealing coats of even more adhesive when I do the sprinkle snow. And so these guys are rock solid on the bases, like probably stronger than many people actually glue their own minis down with. Just because a lot of people will do their basing and it's like kind of right up to their feet, not like around and over. And I always do around and over the bottoms just because that's how snow should be. Nobody walks on top of snow.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're made of metal.
Yep. No, I think you're gonna like this guy here. All right, I don't have the head or the other arm on, but like,
yeah, let's see it. Check it out. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah,
that's pretty
so
funny. I like
that's
it.
the back flip. So this will be, I guess it doesn't really matter what I choose coming at you or not, but because like, I mean, this is how I was first thinking, but what I wanted to do was this. So kind of the back flip away.
Got it. Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to do the other arm. The other arm's going to be a little bit more out to the side. And yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to look, I think that's going to look pretty cool.
Your opponents are going to look at your army and be like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, and be like, you lose, bro. You didn't
yeah,
know that.
be like, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what units, where, you know, we got guys doing backflips. We got guys flying in the air that aren't jetpack units. Like, you know.
Yeah. You didn't know
coming from all angles, man.
You didn't know the backflips 3 red dice?
Yeah, right. It's a new rule. It's a WYSIWYG. So like you get you know special abilities based off of how your model's posed.
Yeah. Yep. I was quite happy with the reaction that the post I did last night got. Like I just did them kind of late, and I was like, oh, I'll just post these up, see what people think, and it's been getting lots of. I mean, for like unpainted, just like gray plastic assembled minis, seem to be getting a lot of love. So that's cool.
Nice.
I'm glad people like to see things. Like I like seeing people's paint jobs, and then so like you know those are the things that I'm thumbs upping and giving. You know, comments too, and not a lot of people post gray plastic minis. It's pretty much my skill set. So, I mean, I can paint, but it just took me a while.
So what color scheme is Jace painting your rebels?
Oh man,
Or is it a secret?
No, it's good. So he's been sharing a few. Well, it really hasn't been sharing. I've been stealing the photos and sharing them in the group there. But so what they are is they're kind of inspired by the work we're doing right now for DGS games for the Patreon project. Because really, what we're doing is he's painting them up with a sort of Afghanistan slash French Foreign Legion style.
Okay.
So like really like arid sort of tundra based units. And so I'll give a little bit more like context. So instead of the veterans being like garbed up in like snow gear, what we're really doing is we're painting them up to like we're painting them up to kind of resemble multi levels of scarves and ponchos and that sort of stuff. So a lot of buildup of the cloth as opposed to like to live in like the desert temperate regions. And so everything's got sort of a brownish tan feel with red accent scarves.
I see.
And so it looks really sharp. Like it's really, really good. I can't wait to show
Oh
people.
yeah, I think now I'm recalling
Seeing
seeing
a
one
couple.
in the group chat. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he's doing an awesome job on it. So like the tauntauns will be done up as like more like brownish, desert creatures. We'll do up the land speeder to be like super dusty. Um, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the Mandos up to be like the Mandalorian style, like with the real brown armor.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. What we're doing there. I say we. I say I'm the inspiration, and then he's painting it up. So
Project manager.
yeah, I mean that's what I do best, right? So all right, check. I'll
Yeah,
go
you're
back
the
here.
boss.
Flop him back here.
Sure.
All right, so there he is. Full backflip, one handstand, and I angled the fist so I actually cut it so it doesn't fit flush. It fits on an angle just to give it a little bit more of a like you don't straight up like tumble backwards on a perfect angle, right? So
Yeah.
it's a combat droid coming straight at you. Flip. There we go. So now we have we have the duel, right? The duel. I'm coming at you. No, you're not. I'm back flipping out of here. And away we go. Let me just grab it. Let me just grab this real quick. I think I can do a better job here. If I get down a slightly better angle. So there you go. Oops. That is completely upside down. Let me go this way and see if that changes it for you guys. Where are we at here? Oh,
I think
no.
we're still upside down.
I think that's because here we go. Let me just go. It's just a setting that I have right now. Boom. There we go.
Nice.
So that is there you go. Yeah.
I like the guy on the fly stand a lot. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and like I said, it fits really nice. Like if you got this guy here as well, flying in, like they're just in full attack mode, and which I think's like when I'm picturing the commandos.
Yeah, in the show,
that's what
exactly
you're doing,
what
right?
they're doing, pretty much.
Yeah, you're flying in, you're doing your thing, and you're making a mess of things. There we go. Awesome. Cool. All right, let's throw it back to Matt. See what Matt's working on. Holy jumping. We're only like an hour 35 in on this. Holy smokes.
Oh, wow.
We're crushing it tonight. Well, I got 2 models assembled.
And we were talking about efficiencies earlier. I don't know.
I mean, we did say that efficient doesn't mean fast.
Yeah, right?
I mean, if I was attempting to create some unique looks, I mean, in my books, that's what I got so far. So that's desired result achieved.
Oh, absolutely. What did I get? 2 models almost done on stream here? 3?
I mean,
I don't even remember.
what are you trying to set a record here or what?
I don't know. I don't know what I think my record might be like 0.75 models done on stream.
Fair. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, my next guy, I'm gonna do one more.
Do one more.
I got time here.
I'm gonna try to bang out this sniper in the same at the same stage as the rest of the squad. So that's my goal for tonight.
Okay. I'm gonna try to do another shield bearing guy here.
And then I'm gonna go join the party upstairs.
Yeah, you're probably like 3 scotches behind, so you better catch up. Yeah, not quite sure what I want to do yet. So sometimes what I do is I use like one limb manipulation, and that becomes my starting point. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. What does this look like the guy's trying to do now? So I don't always have like the whole thing in my head planned, which is okay. Like, you don't literally need to have every part of a pose figured out. I mean, in my head, I mean, you can probably go back a couple weeks on Legion Academy stream, and you could probably hear me say, this is what I'm going to do with the BX Droid. I want to do this. I want to do a backflip one. I want to do and so I have those ones in my head, and then there's other ones where I'm just like straight up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but like I want to fit it in the same style or theme, if you will, right? Like when I say theme, people think, oh, paint. When I'm thinking theme, I'm thinking like, what are my dudes doing? Like, what are these guys up to? My comedic droids.
It's like, what's their profession? They're acrobats.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nobody's standing
what are
around.
they?
I feel like I hate static poses. Like, I wish I would have been able to go back and like the bros painted up my I call them the bros, Chris and Don. They painted up the Imperials. They did a fantastic job. And then I did a real cool jungle base. What I think cool. I did a jungle base, but I didn't change the poses much on them, and I really wish I would have. Like,
yeah.
And like I could have done it, and I just didn't. And it was like that early part of Legion where it's like, oh, get stuff assembled, get it on the table, start playing, learn the game. Like I know how to play the game now. Not saying I'm the best player. I'm just saying I know how to play the game.
Yeah.
And I have models, and so if I want to play, I have models to play. I didn't like at that time. I needed something assembled to play, but now it's like, take your time. I'm not rushing to get. I don't need BXs on the table.
Who's really playing much Legion right now?
Exactly. And I can do Friday Night Fights with unpainted models. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I'd like to have them painted, but it's just it's not where I'm at right now. I'm not rushing to get them painted.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we could do LVO, man. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. No, agreed. I've always had a good time there.
It's crazy to think that like that was the last, I think, big Legion tournament.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
At least, in person. I know there's been, a bunch of online stuff going on, but I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the same.
No. Not. All right. I changed the limb. I figured out what I'm doing with this guy. I'm not gonna show you. I'm just gonna describe it like this. Double gun pose. So that's my.
He's a Cad Bane wannabe. Do you have an extra cowboy hat for him?
I do have extra.
Do it. Yes.
No, my inspiration for this is not Cad Bane, but my inspiration for this is a Simpsons quote. So I'm not sure how big of a Simpsons fan you were or are, or whether you don't like the show at all.
I
But
watched it when I was a kid for sure.
okay, all right, all right. So we've established that I am still a man child. Got it. Um, no, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I absolutely grew up on that and loved every part of the show. Um, but there's an episode where Lou is talking to Chief Wiggum, and he says, "Chief, is it cool if I hold my gun like this?" And he turns it, and he's like kind of holding it like on the side.
Oh, he turns it sideways.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he's just Chief, is it cool if I hold my gun like this?
Oh, I hear you. I think I know what's coming here.
So that's my inspiration for it.
Nice.
I mean, tell me, right? Am I right or wrong when you think about Commando Droids? You can't help but maybe draw a few parallels to like things you may or may not have seen as moves in the Matrix.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely could have been in the Matrix.
Yeah. So we're definitely gonna try to.
Yeah, if you have the parts for it, you got to try to do a Matrix pose on a flight stand.
Yeah.
Right? Do the Matrix pose on the stand, floating around.
Yeah, could be cool. Could be cool. All right, this one is fairly delicate in terms of the legs are at the extreme end of not much holding together. I'm also chipping the flight stands down to a point to go into the models and not using the bulb, just in case people are curious how that's happening. I'm not gluing the plastic piece. I hate that secondary piece of plastic, to be perfectly honest. I would have loved to have not seen that on the flight stands.
So what do you think I should do for my arcs then? Do you think I should try to drill them in or use the
I'm
ball?
gonna do that. I'm gonna try to do that to mine.
Yeah.
I don't like that secondary piece of plastic that gets glued on. Just as a principal piece.
I guess what it allows you to do though is to like I guess angle it or something in different ways.
It does, but you could simply do the same thing with your stand, right? You just create your hole at whatever angle you want.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably more stable that way.
The only advantage is that if you're going to try to magnetize. So I might try to magnetize one, see if I like it. I'm not sure how much like benefit it's going to be for me to like have it magnetized, but
yeah. Well, it might be helpful for like transporting it, but besides that,
I just don't know how much arcs I'm ever gonna play tournament wise. Like I'm pretty dedicated to playing droids. I think droids are gonna be good and get better with the specialist packs. So, not to say that I won't ever use arcs or transport them, but like I'm just. As a studio army, probably, but as a travel army, I don't know. I just feel the inevitable hammer is coming for the clones, and I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like clones can't just keep getting better,
or can they? Yeah, I don't know. I mean. One thing I like about them is just the the uniformity of them. It's like so easy to just like have them synergize with each other. And frankly, I haven't actually played. Maybe I played one game with my own clones. Actually, no. I think I borrowed a friend's. I haven't actually played with my clones in person yet. So like, I'm dying to play with these things.
Well, I mean, yeah, by all means,
It's
pick them
like,
up, play them. They're like, I don't have any like issue with people playing their models. I fundamentally have an issue with clones, but I don't fault people. Like so, Joe and I were talking about that this week on the episode, right? Like playing clones doesn't make you like a toxic player. The play experience is, but like I don't take that out on the player. I mean, I'll have that conversation because I think it's I mean, honestly, I've had the conversation that clones are not necessarily good in terms of the play experience. They're tough to play against. I've also never had a clone player disagree with the statement.
sure, sure.
You know what I mean? It's like they're fundamentally aware of how OP they are right now. Not unbeatable. Not unbeatable. Whole reason behind my AAT list, inspiration, beat clones.
Yeah.
But you know, as an overall play experience, tough to play a lot of factions against them. To be perfectly honest, really tough.
Yeah, I think they definitely need some tweaks and everything. I mean, I played on TTS a little bit, but I haven't played a game of Legion in, I don't know, 2 months, maybe 2.5,
Right.
something like that. So, I totally get it. I mean,
Well,
the real reason why I like, I mean, they play kind of like Imperial, but then they have like the Rebel hero component to it too, which
right.
they're like a mix between Imperial and Rebel. At least just that's my perspective on it.
Just gonna grab a piece of paper towels. I sprung a leak by poking myself with a knife. So
Oh,
casualties of war. It's just a little finger prick from a hobby knife. Nothing serious. It's not even hobby building if you can't hurt yourself.
uh,
There you go. I'm just trying to pop out the flight stand. I want to change the angle just a little bit more.
yeah, I'm excited for the Darth Maul and Anakin models. They look really
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh, insanely good. Yeah, insanely good. Darth Maul is an insane sculpt. I love it. Every part of it.
Yeah. Now, are you gonna play him? You think because you play droids?
I don't think
How
so.
do you how do you
I don't think so.
how do you? Nah.
Like here's correction. Yes, I'll play him. Yes, I'll try him. Is he going to be in my competitive list? I don't think so right now because I think personally, like unless his cards blow me away, I don't know how I fit him in with everything else that I want to bring.
Sure.
And so
Yeah, I
because of
feel
that,
like you definitely got to build around him because he's gonna be your probably your main. Now, here's the thing though: you could run him with Dooku, or you
yo,
could run him
you
with
could run
Grievous.
you could actually run him with both.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that. That's yeah. I mean, you could. I don't know.
That's Joe's triple the fall list. He calls it.
Triple the fight.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, that might be
I'm
pretty scary because how do you deal with all three of them?
triple lightsaber users. Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
I'm personally not me. Like it's not me. I I'm an aggressive player in the sense that I feel like I am, and I feel like people have said that, but like I'm not an aggressive player in the sense that like I like aggressive units. Yeah, like does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense? Like I don't like the
Yeah.
in your face melee stuff. I like to put the pressure on from the start, but it doesn't have to me, it doesn't have to be from melee range. Joe really likes to play at that range. Like that's the bubble that like that he likes. But me, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not me. So
Yeah, I feel like the game's gotten a lot closer though anyway. So I don't know. I feel like, depending on the mission, I mean, you've got 3 lightsaber dudes. Like, how do you deal with that? If it's like you have to go to the middle of the board, or
no
it's a
question.
hostage exchange, or things like that. I mean, I could see, so that would be what, like, that's practically 600 points in 3 models, right?
Oh yeah,
If we have the points,
but
right? So like, where do you
here's
just
the
take
thing.
B1s with it, pretty much?
Absolutely. You take six B1s. You're at about 190 points ish. No, you'll be at 100 180, what, 210? 210? Is that what that works out to be? 6 times 30, 180, 100 and I guess 116. Not 116, 216.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah, 216. Sorry, 216. And yeah, and then Dooku's coming in probably just over 200. Maul's probably going to be just under, and you can definitely get Grievous under 200 as well. And yeah, there's your 9
So it's
activation
nine
list.
nine activation, triple lightsaber.
Yeah, I'd probably run it at 8 activations, just because I
Yeah,
probably want to make sure Grievous isn't left too weak.
yeah.
But
No, that's a good point. That's actually a list I'd want to try out because it doesn't take a lot of models
I mean,
and it's
it
easy to
takes
put together.
it takes 39 models, right? You're
Yeah,
still
and
you're
I
still
already
30.
have the B1s built. So
Yeah,
for me,
it's like
it's painting painting 2
exactly.
models.
Exactly. So it's not a lot of models if you have them all done. And if you don't have them all done, it's like, man, that's a lot of models.
Yeah. It's like the B1s are ready to go. Let's get Dooku painted up and Darth Maul and have
And
at
I
it.
mean,
But yeah,
not
that's
to
scary
mention,
because I mean, Grievous and Maul are probably pretty fast, and then Dooku's coming up, after them as a follow up. Disgusting.
yeah, and not to mention, just saying, you actually have 3 really awesome characters for paint wise. Like, so your focal point is like 3 named cool looking characters, iconic characters.
Yep.
And then you got it backed up by 36 vanillas. And so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to trying that. That'll be fun. I mean, I don't know if I'd play it competitively, but I'm sure people will try it, and I'm sure people will figure it out and do well because, I mean, if the terrain's decent enough, you could probably win in like turn 3 with that list. Like, just
Yeah.
decisively get in there and just cut people down.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely think you could. All right. Coming up on that 2-hour mark. I'm going to be done this model in a few minutes. Probably under stream there. You gotta have some scotch time.
Yeah, I think it is. Huh.
All right, I'm just getting this guy sort of glued up here. I'm half holding a Kleenex on my finger that just won't stop bleeding.
It's just a flesh wound.
Oh, it's just a finger poke. It's like getting poked. It's like getting poked, like given like a blood sugar reading or something. But end of your fingertips are just
Yeah.
blood spouts.
Sure, that's not the first time you've done that.
Oh God, no. my wife. I usually just yell up to my wife and say, I'm on stream here, so I usually just say, bring me a Band-Aid. Standard drill. Oh, I like this pose. I like all three of these poses, actually. I am using a second flight stand for this. I'll give you that hint, too.
You think Obi-Wan Anakin's going to be a thing?
I mean, The Master and the Apprentice seems like a good list. I mean, it's got a cool name, so it's got to be good.
Yeah. I'd like to try it. I mean, the challenge is like, what else you put with it?
Yeah.
Because you're sinking so many points.
Yeah, and like clones lists aren't droid lists. The filler's still expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Or you just go all out with characters. You just do like Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme, R2, 3PO,
R2C3PO,
and then like,
yeah.
phase 2s.
Right.
And say, hey, all right, try to stop my 2 secret missions and then my 2 Jedi. And then,
yeah.
That's the game.
Or you just escort one of your secret missions with 2 Jedi.
Yeah.
Just to quickly score that point. Then the extract plan, get back, and then start taking out whatever you need to take out for the other points.
Definitely possible.
The cool thing about, small aside, the cool thing about this unit that I'm doing here is because I'm doing up on what snow bases, I'm going to have a lot of real estate to actually do up some different look in the snow bases so they don't end up looking exactly the same, because I'm going to have more room for like rock, and because I have so little contact points on the actual the actual base. Like I got dudes that are barely one hand down. So all right, I'm going to attach the head, and then I'm going to reveal this, and then can probably call it a stream. We did a solid amount of work.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Solid. Not bad. We got back in the saddle here, so.
Yeah, I think it was long overdue.
Yeah. I mean,
good.
I've been working, but I've been working on mostly Patreon stuff, so it's nice to grab something that wasn't that, and I could, show off what I was doing. I did this last night, and I was like, I should get some stuff work done for the Hobbycast, and then I thought I'll get one unit done and then do one on stream. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, this guy's funny looking. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, swap over here. Okay. There he is.
Oh, no way.
Dive into the side, double gun pose. There's the reverse.
That's definitely Matrix style right there.
Yeah, for sure. And I should zoom in here so you can see the head. I like the head position the best. So like he's diving to the side, but the head's still kind of like almost in that like sort of straight upright. Like,
it's like he's almost trying to aim, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, we've officially, so this is what we accomplished tonight. Got
Sweet.
Go. Two flight stands used, so there we go. And so we got all kinds of flippy and acrobatic-y guys, and there we go. That takes care of that. All right, let's slide back over and see what Matt did, and then I'll jump back on camera, just do a face.
Yeah, I'll put together this squad here real fast.
Yeah, sure.
These are coming together.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Slowly but surely.
Nice. Can you hold up one like closer to the camera?
Sure. Got two here. Let's see, get some light. How's that?
Yeah, it looks good. Yes, give him a rotate. I like the blue. The blue's sharp.
This guy's backpack's not done. Let me get someone else here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to do the shading with the wash and stuff, but this is pretty much blocking out all the base coating. And yeah, next step would be a wash, and then I'm gonna call them done until I get to the other squads, and then I'll figure out the like the 501st blue markings that I'll do on them, so you can kind of tell them apart a little bit better. But
right.
Yeah, I'm happy with these guys so far. I really like the blue color that I came up with here.
Yeah, it's really it's really like sharp.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. Cool.
I'll switch us back to do a face close here. Let me jump back over. Better bring my mouse pad back over, I guess.
There we are.
I'm only disappointed about one thing on the stream tonight. I made a cup of tea. I brought it down and I forgot I made.
Right? Doesn't that happen all the time? Right?
It totally does. So, but it's just the way it goes. So, awesome. Now I know the crowd is slow here tonight, but the nice beauty part about it is we get it up on Facebook. We'll share it out on the train studio, and people could come hang out. People probably missed, totally forgot we were on here. So in fairness, we did miss a few weeks. So we'll get back in the saddle. I think people will like to come back and see the progression. So next week, I'm sure Matt's probably not going to finish all his arcs by next week. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't.
I'd love to.
I will 100% not be done painting the BXs. I will have them done. I know that for sure because I'll work on them. I'll work them on the weekend, so I'll get that. So maybe what I'll do, Matt, next week for funsies, maybe I'll paint next week too.
Fantastic.
And then and Matt's gonna quickly scratch build a Helm's Deep because Joe's really looking for one. So
yeah,
we'll just get that whipped up real quick next week, and we'll roll reverse, and yeah, fair enough. And I might use a wet palette, and by that I might spill some paint and water together, and then my palette will be wet. So we'll see how that goes. So
hey man, maybe you'll fall in love with it, and you'll be like, no, wow, I should do more painting.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. But no, I have enjoyed painting all the droids. That is one thing I have really, really enjoyed. So, and I think I've enjoyed painting it because the scheme has been something I've just been brewing in my head for like a super long time. So,
yeah, I really
yeah, to see it kind of click over. The grays lend nice, the camo, the sort of military-esque feel. I really want to do the B2s are going to be kind of done up in a not black, but I'm going to do them up in kind of like a burnt steel, so kind of a real sort of ironworks type feel to them.
Okay.
And then for the Commando Droids, I kind of want to do them up in a combination of like white to light gray, a little bit of orange accent because I really like the color orange, and then bring them in with some of the medium grays, so like a neutral gray to like a anthracite gray, so something a little bit on the darker side. So just really playing with that gray palette, and then I don't know what I'm going to do for the stabs. The stabs are going to be interesting because I'll obviously do the droids like the droids, but I might do the stabs potentially up in the gray, with the orange as well. So I might actually do them sort of like almost like a rusty metallic.
You gotta put some racing stripes on them.
I was thinking about flames, but
there you go.
I mean, that's what's going to happen to them when I use them. They're going to go down in flames. So, I mean, would that be cool? Do one and have one of the little like engine-y bits, like have a like a clump foliage smoke trail coming out of it.
Yeah. No, that would be really cool. How it's like on
Done.
fire, like
Done.
flame. Yeah,
We just
definitely do that.
narratively decided that that's happening.
I love it. That's great.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. Um, one of my AATs, I actually thought about doing a two pose on it, so have it actually mounted on the peg, but I wanted to have another sort of magnetized position where I could nose it down and have a bunch of snow up over the front, like it's actually like plowed in, like when they like got
Hmm.
damaged, like one side inevitably sort of like they sort of like cascaded into
Oh
the
yeah, it was like
dirt or whatever.
yeah,
Exactly. So I
yeah.
thought about kind of doing one where I could change the position, take it off the peg, and then magnetize it at this weird angle. But the magnet would be kind of hidden within like the
Hmm.
cork and stuff, so that I could do that. So I might do that for when I'm doing. So you guys might be interested in some of that stuff. We kind of talk about that on the hobby tutorials. Seeing that. So awesome. Okay, Matt. Well, I do appreciate you coming back and doing some time with me.
Yeah, it's good catching up. My
Absolutely.
pleasure.
So we'll fully plan to be back next week on Thursday, right around the 6:30. So it'll be 7:30 Central, and we'll rock out some hobby time next week. I'll be probably, like I said, I'm going to painting. I decided I'm painting next week, and then I'll have Matt to be my live sort of or like be my like trouble center, my call center.
Oh my, my support.
my my
I'll be
my
your support center.
Yeah, yeah. He'll be my support person for painting. So awesome. No, it's wicked. All right, Matt. Till next week. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. And as always, if you guys are inclined and you want to support what's happening here in the studio, all the streams, all this sort of stuff, it's fantastic. If you're able to do so, not necessary, but go check us out. It's a train studio. It's on Patreon. You can go check that out. Lots of video content. Subscription gets you all the content that's ever been posted. So there's nothing that's pay per view. You get everything. So if you just join this month, you can get everything since the start of the Patreon, and it's all there, access for you. The streams are obviously free, and we'll keep putting out as much free content for you guys as possible. But as I said, if you're able to support, we do appreciate it. So till next week, thanks a lot, and I'll see you later, Matt.
Have a good night.
Cheers.